monthly report that includes the first outlook for the new crop, corn and soybeans, their yield, and then, of course, an ending stocks for the 2019-2020 marketing season. Oh, and also a midpoint price. Be sure to visit the website on Friday at 11.
Things are buzzing. Farmers and pollinators are working together to help feed us. In fact, 1 out of every 3 bites of food we eat exists because of bees, butterflies, birds, bats, and other insects. Pollinators are important to our food system and the ecosystem overall. That's why farmers and those in the agricultural industry are working together to protect pollinators through education, research, and conservation efforts. Visit ilagformonarchs.org to join the buzz. That's ilagformonarchs.org.
RFD Radio Network's Rita Frazier connects rural routes for you. Rita delivers passion and reliable information to listeners on the RFD Radio Network. Her radio career spans close to 3 decades. Here's a bit about her rural roots.
I grew up on a small farm. My job today allows me to connect with people from all walks of life and experience opportunity every day. I get to talk about what I love, farming.
Be it routes or roots, RFD Radio, FarmWeekNow.com, and Farm Week keep you connected.
You're listening to RFD Town and Country Partners, connecting you with the food you eat, the Illinois farmers who grow it, and the food-related events, destinations, and lifestyles that make our state great.
Welcome to RFD Town and Country Partners. On a Tuesday, I'm DeLoss Yonke, a regular segment with our friend, County Manager in Pike and Scott County Farm Bureaus, Blake Roderick, is on the phone. Blake, how are you?
I am doing just fine, DeLoss. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Normally we look to the stars, but if we have you on the phone, we'll have to look at our feet first and just an update on water levels. What's going on? It's Pike, Scott County, so you have the Mississippi on the west and the Illinois on the east, and well, so in the middle, I guess there. So
right.
Plenty to keep an eye on right now.
Well, not so concerned with the Mississippi right now. The projected rains that we're getting and release of water from some of the dams in the upper Mississippi Basin are going to put a another crest here later on in the weekend. It's still going to be fairly low. The water has dropped rapidly on the Mississippi River. I'm not sure where it's going because the Illinois River is backing up. That's the real critical one right now. We just got a new weather report from the Weather Service over the noon hour that bumps the crest up in my area here, west central Illinois, up above the record 1943 flood, which is anyway you're breaking a record. It's pretty significant on this river, and folks were prepared for the river, that the water that was coming, and now they've got to redouble their efforts to add more height to some of these sod levees, which they do through they build a fence basically on top of the levee, and they secure it with plastic and sandbags to keep a little bit of water out. It's not going to be it's not going to do much good if the water level gets too high on the boards. But it will keep low levels of water above the level of the levee. It will keep it in the river. But this is quite a punch in the stomach to these folks who have been fighting this flood here for the effort started late last week, and the problem with this high level that they're predicting is this will continue on through next week. I mean, a full week from now, we're going to be at these above record levels. Something we've never seen before.
That's interesting that one would go down so quickly, and then another one would not only rise, whichever, but to move to historic levels. Like that,
yeah.
And it's just 40 miles apart in some cases, right?
Right, but the Illinois River is narrow, fairly narrow. and it dumps into that lake that's created, the pool that's created by the lock and dam down at Alton, the Mill Price Lock and Dam, and the water's got to get by Mill Price Lock and Dam. You've also got the Missouri River water that is flowing in, and it's at record levels also, continuing to be at record levels. So this water, this is a very, very serious situation, especially on this track of the lower Illinois River right now.
All right. Well, we'll keep monitoring, and certainly hopes for folks that are battling this quite a bit. Plenty of pressure on the LaGrange as well, I would think.
Well, yeah, and LaGrange, the way that lock and dam works, when there's high water, they just lower the gates and water flows. It just flows over, and that's how it works. But we've got the Sangamon River dumps up into the Illinois up at Havana, Beerstown area. And if you get a lot of rains in the Decatur area or Champaign area, either Springfield, that all comes down to the Illinois River and impacts what's happening. So it's that upper Illinois has got a very, very big, expansive watershed, and it all has to end up passing by us. And it's raining to the north of us now, and I don't know. I guess that's figured into what this crest is, but I think part of it has to be that this water has nowhere to go.
Right.
Nowhere to go very fast.
Boy, it moves awfully. For it not having anywhere to go, it sure moves fast too. It's amazing. It's an amazing thing to watch and experience, especially up close. All right.
It's really becoming a lake almost with low flow at this point, because even in '93 we saw that happen when it was backing up. The Mississippi River water in Missouri was backing up to Illinois. When it doesn't have anywhere to go, it doesn't have anywhere to go. But out.
Do you ever feel like when you've been in those, you almost feel like you're in some sort of horror movie? It's just some sort of character like that. You know what I mean?
It has a recurring nightmares. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, that's part of the deal
more like
too.
Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
But, when I'm talking to people about the flood, some of our elected leaders or press people from around the nation, they just all merge into one. I mean, on the Illinois River, we had a flood in 13, which was a major flood. We had another one in 15. We had one over the New Year's holiday, Christmas holiday in 15-16. So these are just keep recurring, and it just seems like on a three-year basis on the Illinois River. And we really need to be doing something to keep these floodwaters from getting as high. Whether treatments on the land or reduce the amount of water that's running off as fast as it is, we need to be doing some things to kind of keep water where it starts and keep it there a little bit longer and reduce the amount of flows that are going in. Plus, build up these levees so these folks are not having to go through this worry every year. The governor issued a disaster proclamation this past week, and right in it says all administrative rules, prohibiting flood fighting have been suspended. So we're going to flood fight. Let's build these levees up so that we don't have to be flood fighting.
Right.
It just makes sense.
Sure.
But anyway, you want to talk about the stars a little bit today, too, do you?
Yeah, we have 3 minutes here, different kind of showers, right? We got May showers and April showers and meteor showers.
That's exactly right. We just missed a great one. It happened over Sunday night, and we missed it here because it was cloudy. It's been that way quite a bit. It was kind of nice going out last night and seeing the stars again. But the next one coming up is August 12th. The night of August 12th, 13th, it's the Perseid meteor shower, which is a huge meteor shower. Have 90 to 100 meteors an hour. Will show up at its peak. So we'll talk about that in August. But basically, most of these meteor showers that we see are created by the Earth passing through the debris field of a comet. And some of the comets, Halley's Comet, Swift Swift Tuttle, which is the Perseid meteor shower that we have coming up, the Earth is passing through the debris field of those comets. The debris, everybody's had grape nuts or know what a grape nuts looks like, the cereal. That's about the size of probably some of the bigger size of some of the particles that are in that debris field. We're not talking about things that are size of bricks or the size of boulders. We're talking about grains of sand and grape nut size particles that are coming into the atmosphere and putting on this great spectacular show that we see.
Now, you said Halley's Comet, that was 30 years ago, something like that?
Yeah.
And we're still seeing results from it.
We're running through the cloud. Yeah, we continue to run through the cloud. It crosses our orbit, and then it also spreads out. Over time, those particles will spread out. So we're something like the Perseid meteor shower. May last for close to 3 weeks to a month. That you'll see be running through the debris cloud of that meteor shower. It just happens to peak on a certain night or period of nights. But yeah, we're probably most of the meteors that we see. If you go out tonight and sit under the stars and see a meteor, it's probably debris from one of those comets that come by. It's the primordial stuff that's left over from when the solar system was created.
Wow! Now that's fascinating. That's amazing that we still get to see those sort of things on.
Yeah. What's really fascinating is something so small.
Yeah.
Can appear so big in the sky. I mean, some of these are almost fireballs. Of course, those are bigger particles, but it's amazing. The universe and cosmology is just mind-boggling sometimes.
Yeah. All right, well, sir, we're already out of time. Wishing you guys, you and everyone else in the counties, all the best, especially this next week on the Illinois River. So take good care.
Thank you very much.
Blake Roderick, he is county manager for Pike and Scott County Farm Bureaus in West Central Illinois on RFD, Town and Country Partners.
Are you preparing for planting season? We don't mean to be a pest, but here's a few things you need to know before you grow. The Illinois Department of Agriculture now requires special local needs labels, including new restrictions for the use of herbicide dicamba on top of soybeans in Illinois for the 2019 growing season. Did you know these additional restrictions go beyond federally approved labels? Remember, the label is the law. To find out more about these Illinois-specific labels, visit ilfb.org/label-aware.
All ag.
All Illinois.
All now.
There are a lot of smartphone apps out there, but do they have what's important to us here in Illinois? The Farm Week Now app does, and it's always at your fingertips. All ag, all Illinois, and 24/7 where and when you need it for free. Go to your app or Play Store on your smartphone, hit search, type in Farm Week Now, that's one word, and download it today. Brought to you by Illinois Farm Bureau, where we're all about farm, family, and food.
Welcome to Jim Crowley Outdoors here on RFD Radio Network. You don't have to be a farmer to be a member of the Illinois Farm Bureau. Just a love for the outdoors will do. For more information, check out ilfb.org or your local county farm bureau. Hey, I got my buddy Matt Cheever back with us, and as always, just so you know, he is from Heartland Outdoors Magazine, has a great monthly column there, and Matt always has some timely tips. And Matt, I heard maybe you got something going on because of this little bit of rain we're getting.
Yeah, Jim, I get a lot of guys asking me this time of year when to plant, what to plant, when to get food plots going, and I myself get excited, want to get everything in there and kind of stay along with where the farmers are at and everything. But in the end, it costs me a lot of extra time and money. So a lot of times I'm replanting or the feed gets eaten down too soon. A really good rule of thumb is if you're going to do any kind of standard corn or bean crop, wait till the slowest farmer in your area gets his planting done. There's always one guy that whether maybe he's got cattle business or whatever, and he's just a little bit behind everybody else. Wait till he's done. Give it a couple weeks and then put your crop in. What that does is it lets those beans get up, and sometimes the deer will nibble on those young beans early, and when they start to flower, they'll hit those and leave yours alone a little bit. Gives them a chance to mature a little bit better. And let's be honest, we're not looking at an ideal harvest. We're looking at feed for whitetail, and we're doing food plots. So there's nothing wrong with planting a little bit later and being behind the the 8 balls, so to speak, and you don't have to keep up with all the ag guys around you that have big operations. You know, you can do a small plot and plant them later. I plant soybeans in July and August, and I still get really nice stand of beans for late December and January hunting. So, you know, a lot of guys are antsy to get out there and do it, but sometimes that'll cost you in the end. And sometimes procrastinating and maybe fishing a little bit more right now is better than planning.
Yeah, you know, I can't agree more with you. Years ago, I had a pond, and I was actually putting some seed in to actually like a food plot for ducks and geese, and letting the stuff grow up and try to get ready and everything. Well, I planted it way too early as well, and what happened? It did get eaten down, and so I had to go back in and try to redo everything again. And I guess just like with anything else, this takes time, and over years, it takes time of learning what to expect. And you know, you and I have discussed this on numerous topics before. The older that we've gotten, sometimes the longer we wait, the more patient that we are, the less work we have to do, and the greater our rewards for our patience. And is so true even with food plots, isn't it?
Exactly. It's you know, work smarter, not harder. Take a little more time and get some other things done, you know, and check some other tasks off your list. But
Matt, that's great tips. As always, sure appreciate it, my friend, and we'll look forward to talking with you next week.
What's the excitement about buying a brand new car when you pay full price for it? County Farm Bureau members have a reason to be excited. A Farm Bureau membership gives you 2 car purchase discounts. When members buy a new Ford vehicle, they receive $500 off their purchase. And with a purchase of a qualifying Lincoln vehicle, they receive $750 off. Everyone loves a good deal, and the money saved is worth the price of our annual membership. This is just one of our 300,000 plus discounts that are always changing to fit our members' needs. Not a Farm Bureau member? Visit Illinois Farm Bureau online and join today.
Farm Week and Partners Magazine editor Chris Anderson connects rural routes for you. Chris shares her 4 decades of riding expertise by making sure each edition delivers the best information. Here's a bit about her rural roots.
I was raised on a farm in Champaign County growing corn, soybeans, popcorn, pumpkins, and poultry. My top priority is to inform, educate, and even entertain Farm Bureau members.
Be it routes or roots. RFD Radio, FarmWeekNow.com, and Farm Week keep you connected.
Welcome back to RFD Town and Country Partners. I'm DeLoss Yonke. We'll go down to Hartford now. Ben Pollard at the Lewis and Clark State Historic Site. Ben, how are you?
Oh, just getting ready for our big upcoming event this weekend.
Just a little bit. We'll get into the event. People will say, Hartford, I don't know where Hartford is. Lewis and Clark, so that's awfully close to the Mississippi River. Give us an idea of where you are.
It is. We're about a 30-minute drive from St. Louis, just near Alton, Illinois. Where our town is situated right here at the confluence of the Mississippi and the Missouri rivers.
Oh.
And so our site, Lewis and Clark State Historic Site, is where Captains Lewis and Clark and their soldiers would have prepared for their expedition from where they set off in 1804.
Do you know how long they were there?
They're here for about 5 months.
Okay.
And over that time, they were training soldiers, kind of picking the team they were taking with them, and making sure they had supplies for any and all things they might encounter on the way.
Probably took them months just to talk themselves into testing the rivers.
Oh, yeah.
In the first place. Can you imagine?
Yeah, we've got some pretty high waters right now on the river, but they had flooding and all sorts of other treacherous things on the water back then as well.
Oh, my gosh, yeah. So 1804, when they made their way west from your area, and so you're going to recreate some of those things as much as possible?
Yeah, so we're going to have a bunch of reenactors and demonstrators and historic artisans, so about 24 of them. Some of them are going to be doing kind of like trades of the time, leatherworking, coopering. So we've got some historic carpenters, those kind of things. And they're showing kind of the skills you'd need to live back then, both on the expedition and for the settlers in the area. And then we're also going to have some military reenactors out here, some of them as, you know, detachment soldiers from that expedition, others from nearby, or in history at least, nearby units as well. We've got a British Royal Regiment of Foot group, as well as a War of 1812 reenactment group. And so kind of tying in the history of this area, that military history here. Well,
yeah, now that you mention that, you start thinking about things, 1804. I mean, the U.S., you just think about what was occupied at that point and what wasn't. So understand then why there would be some military help and other assistance, because certainly, they were going into uncharted waters or uncharted territory, and it wasn't U.S. occupied at that point.
Yeah, this is an expedition where they're going to be gone for an unknown time over unknown distance with unknown threats. They were going to make sure they had a lot of good, rough and ready soldiers to take with them. I'm trying
to think the Northwest Territory. I think that was 1803, but it may have been later than that. So yeah, it was all around that time, but they didn't know if they'd find French or who they might find at that point.
Yeah, there's layers in this community. There's French and Spanish and British, a whole bunch of American Indian tribes. There's a lot of layers of culture here in just a few years. And so when we have our visitors come here, I tell them that we're still at the west coast of the United States at that point, just before the Louisiana Territory is added on.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So the event then, you have a really nice indoor facility as well. There's an old replica ship in there, and so I assume there's some indoor and outdoor things, although should be a pretty good weather-wise weekend for you to have a bunch of outdoor activities.
Yes, we've been watching the weather nonstop for the last week or so. And it looks like it's going to be pretty clear all weekend. So we're hoping to have as many people outside, because it just feels a lot more authentic when you're under your canvas canopies doing your, the historic trades and reenactments.
Right. So
of course, if we are outside, we'll have our artillery and firearm demonstrations as well, which we just can't do inside.
Right. Yeah, you don't want anyone packing any powder. From the indoor place as well.
Exactly.
Well, this is really interesting, thinking about Louisiana Purchase, and so that's on the other side of the state and over in the Vincennes area. But you talk about some significant moments of our early country's history and its eventual expansion right in that part of the world. That's really interesting stuff.
Exactly. And mentioning Vincennes, that's famous for George Rogers Clark,
right,
leading the military there. William Clark is his younger brother, so William Clark was one of the few people to find a way to upstage a Revolutionary War hero, as far as being the most famous in the family.
Wow, that's pretty good. Yeah, Lewis and Clark, that all goes together.
And so when we have people come in through our interpretive center, they'll see not just what they're doing here at our spot in Illinois, but also at Fort Kaskaskia and Fort Massac down near Metropolis, learning about that whole history about how this region really impacted that expedition.
Excellent. Any cost, anything, or if I come to the State Historic Site at any time, are there things I need to know to help plan the visit?
Well, we're open from 9 till 5. Our events are on our website, campdubois.com, and also on our Facebook page for the Lewis and Clark State Historic Site. So for finding the events to come, but we're open 9 to 5 every day during the summer, and it's free admission. We just have a donation box at the front, because we are run by DNR through the state of Illinois.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot of sense.
You can expect that for our event as well, with the demonstrators and all. That's all free. The only thing you might want to pay for, might want to bring your wallets for, is we're looking to have a homemade root beer vendor, and so that'll be the one thing that'll cost any money here.
That sounds all right. I'd bring a couple $2 for that. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So just north of 270 there. And you can find on Facebook as well. Just type Lewis and Clark Departure Event, and that will arrive on the page. So
yeah, that'll pull us up pretty quickly.
Excellent. And this is something, this is adults, kids, all ages. This sounds like a thing for just about anybody.
Oh, yes. We've got all sorts of people from all over. We will have a lot of international visitors that are doing the Lewis and Clark Trail that'll make a point of stopping here. And so you can expect some hands-on things like candle making or cotton and wool spinning for the kids, all the way up to you can ask one of our gunsmiths some pretty detailed questions about the firearms of the time.
Very cool.
So we've got a range for all ages.
All right. We're out of time.